And that, after all, is what we're always aiming to do as still photographers, surprise people with our photographs. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to go to British Columbia in Canada and photograph the Canadian whitewater team for Mazda. The photographs and the video content, which would be shot simultaneously, would be used in both a print publication, a custom publication for Mazda, and also we edited a short web piece for the Mazda website. One of the criteria during this shoot was to make sure that we had hero shots that included the kayakers, but also had the Mazda in the background. My methodology was shoot the great video clips, and then as soon as something looked great and it was reproducible, I would then switch my Nikon D4 out of video into still photography mode and start making still photographs. Now, one thing that happened that really surprised me, and it's the reason this photograph is seemingly an impossible camera position and unexpected, is I benefited from shooting video simultaneously. When shooting video, you always want the camera moving and you want the camera in unique positions. So we brought a jib arm with us. The jib arm really allows you to put the camera in impossible positions that otherwise you couldn't fluidly move the camera into. I'm always trying to solve the technical problems in advance of actually making the picture. I knew that because this was action, I wanted to freeze the action and freeze all of those cool water droplets that the river was creating. So I wanted 1,000th of a second or faster. I wanted enough depth of field so that there was a zone that the kayakers could paddle through and be sharp. I knew that the foreground paddler was the person that was critical. The background really was an element. And it was going to be luck if I could get that background paddler in my shot. I wanted a wide enough lens so that I could actually really, in one frame, capture the car on the bank and the kayakers, both in the foreground and in the background. And I wanted sun flare. I loved what the 14-24 was doing in terms of sun flare for the video clip. So I'm switching the lens into manual focus mode. I'm predetermining my focus distance, which in this photo is probably about 5 feet from the camera. I'm doing a test. I'm looking at the back of the camera, checking that the water is in focus where I envision the kayaker being. The shutter activation is in continuous high because I want the maximum number of frames per second, because I know this is a fleeting moment. The kayaker is going to approach the camera very quickly and I'm going to get 3 potential usable frames. So I went to 250 ISO, 1/1250th of a second, f5.6, Nikon D4, and a 14-24 millimeter lens. And then I put the camera out over the river using the jib arm. As the kayakers came close enough, at 11 frames per second, I depressed my pocket wizard button. It was so loud I couldn't hear the camera firing. Probably got 20 or so frames before the kayakers were out of the frame. Brought the jib arm back, looked at the back of the camera, and instantly realized this was the photograph, with one kayaker exiting the frame dead center, one kayaker in the upper right-hand corner, and the car on the bank. This is really a photograph that would not have happened had we not been shooting video simultaneously. You know, this is